Another exciting episode of, oh, hold on.
There we go. Okay, now I have audio. And howdy, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Debauchery Circus campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM, and joining me around the virtual table today are Brandie, Brie, John Jr., and Steven. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
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 Now, I'm excited to announce that we have some new content coming to Random Rhapsody. I'm doing a special mini-series for a new rule system that just got funded on Kickstarter. The system's called Magi Knights, and it's based on Sentai and Magical Girl anime tropes. Steven from the Debauchery Circus here, and Alyssa from the Fab Five are joining a few new faces to play through Magi Knight's first chapter, which is titled An Echo from the Stars. So it should be a lot of fun. You can keep up to date on everything we do by following us on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV and on Twitter as @random_Rhapsody. Okay, that should do it for the announcements. So join us as we dive into the world of Loroupa and continue on with the adventures of the Debauchery Circus. And we're back. So when we last left off, the Debauchery Circus had taken up residence in the mansion once owned by the Star Knight, Nynaeve Mandragor. The team spent that first day exploring the manor, choosing their bedrooms and going through the possessions of the deceased cultist, including a journal that answered a few lingering questions on our heroes' minds. The squad was questioned by a dwarf named Flintwhistle, who had been sent by the Magisterium to investigate Cameron's break-in into the Institute Arcanum in Northimia. His reception was confusing, to say the least. But eventually he was taken to Coltrast Keep, where Corin, Ichabod, and Kaya were able to convince him, with Edmund's help, that Cameron had died in that battle with the Beholder. But while the dwarf did seem to believe them in the end, he revealed that he would be sticking around Coltrast Keep for a while to continue with his investigation. From there, the group split ways, with Ichabod traveling to Port Suliard while the rest of the team headed to Northimia to sell off some of their treasure and order a few commissions on some custom gear. While in Suliard, Ichabod tracked down the priest who had ministered to his wife and children while they lived in the port. There he learned that during the subsequent years, his eldest son Ishmael had fallen in with the wrong crowd and joined the local branch of the Cerulean Syndicate. He also discovered that his wife had left the port rather abruptly for the city of Rowena in the Margarden Federation. And so, Debauchery Circus. Though the priest did not know the reason for this sudden departure, she did reveal to Ichabod that she had found a letter that spoke of a repayment of a debt, though no other context was given beyond that. Armed with this new information, Ichabod had left the shrine of Balrus to try and track down what information he could before returning to Coltrast. Now, from a chronological point of view, the rest of the circus was still on the road to Northimia at that point, though we did complete the shopping and enchanting the group wanted to do while they were there. But, when you have a time wizard in the party, things tend to get a little wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. So,
You're welcome.
yeah. But before we pick things up from where we left off, a question comes to each of your mind. But I just realized I forgot to ask you to roll a D100. So somebody real quick, roll for me 1D100.
Sure. 17. Also, if nothing else, one thing that might make things easier, it wouldn't be easy for us to get permission to teleport to the capital, but it'd be pretty easy to get us permission to teleport from the capital.
Oh yeah, you don't need permission to teleport back to Coltrast Keep.
Yep.
You're right, got that.
We've done this question before.
I'm not sure if we have. It's what's your character's favorite season?
Yeah.
I'm certain that we did.
We've done it.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll one more time.
Almost everybody said fall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead and roll again.
All right. 57.
We usually do this stuff beforehand, but... Oh, this is interesting. The player character to your left admits that they're passionately in love with your character. How would your character respond?
Who's left?
How do we determine that?
Well, the way we're going to determine that is the way I have you all formatted in on our overlay here. So we're going to start things off with Corin, since you're the one who rolled, and the person to your left is Blaznir in this situation. So imagine that Blaznir just admitted he's passionately in love with you, Corin. How would you respond?
That's nice, but you're kind of young, kid.
I mean, how old is Blaznir? I think he's like in his mid-20s or so.
Oh, really?
Blaznir, how old are you? Yeah, you're cutting out. We can't hear you, bud.
I thought he was younger than that, like 16, 17.
Blaznir? He typed in that he's 34.
34. Oh, okay. I would say, I like the forests, but I don't like burning them down as much as you do, so,
Yeah. Blaznir, see if you can figure out your audio issues. Jedi Slayer 420 is in chat right now. He's saying Happy Monday and throwing us 100 bits. So thank you, Jedi Slayer 420.
Happy Monday.
Ichabod, you're next, and guess who's to your left?
Is it the one who is passionately in love with me?
It is, oddly enough, Corin. So, Corin just admitted he's madly, passionately in love with you. How do you respond?
Well, I'm quite flattered at that, but I'm a married man, you see, so obligations and all, and then I walk away very fast.
Hey, at least it's better than the dad response of thanks.
Yeah,
thanks. Looks away, never brings it up again.
Okay, well, Kaya, you're next, and the person to your left is Ichabod. So Ichabod has just informed you he's madly, passionately in love with you. How would you respond to that?
Probably with a bit of confusion at first, because Ichabod... Well, first of all, Ichabod doesn't even realize Kaya's female. Ichabod is under the assumption Kaya's a male, which Kaya's just like, whatever. But also, I feel like Kaya just wouldn't really reciprocate, because the turtles just they don't really have relationships other than once they settle down and they're gonna die. So it's like that'd be pretty. Hold off, dude. Like I'm not ready for that stage of my life yet. I still have some adventuring to do. I'm not ready to settle down and die quite yet.
Kaya gets existential about it.
Yeah, totally.
Hey, at least it's better than her going, "Welp, Ichabod just said he's madly in love with me. Time to change my name again."
It's akin to dying. I don't make a very good husband.
Apparently not. Okay, Willow, you're next, and Kaya is the one to your left. So imagine if Kaya just informed you that she's madly and passionately in love with you. How would you respond?
Since she knows everything that Willow's gone through, she would just walk away, not say a word, just walk.
Yeah, Willow's been through quite a bit lately, so I understand that. Okay, Blaznir, are you with us? Yeah, I can see the thing lighting up that you're talking, but not hearing anything out of you. Well, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully you can get your headphones to work. Are you using headphones? I don't know. Keep testing, Blaznir, but while you're thinking about that, the person to your left is Willow. If Willow were to tell you that she was in love with you, what would you say? Gotta love those technical difficulties. Looks like he's saying he thinks it's bad Wi-Fi or something. Blaznir's actually out of town right now, so that's entirely possible. Try using Discord on your phone instead.
Out of town is putting it mildly.
Yeah, definitely.
There's nothing wrong with wanting a strong lady.
Yeah, not at all. That's true. Willow did kick your ass once. Like I said, log into Discord on your phone and try talking through your phone.
Hello?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Hi. What's going on?
So Willow just said she's in love with you. How do you respond?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, sorry. I have a lot of issues right now.
That's what Blaznir says in character.
Yeah.
No, this is me. Okay.
I love you, Blaznir. I have a lot of issues right now.
Yeah.
Really going through it.
Total red flag.
No, I don't know. I mean, he probably wouldn't reciprocate it, but I think he'd more think it's a joke because of Shadowfire.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. You'd be like, bad joke, dude.
He's got so many red flags, you could sew them together and make a cape.
It's true. Okay. I like it. Well, anyway, okay. Well, Debauchery Circus, or more specifically, Ichabod, we're going to start things off with you. Since chronologically, the rest of the group is still making their way to Northimia. But, Ichabod, You just left the Shrine of Balrus, and you are now stepping down into the streets of Port Suliard. It's well past midday at this point, and the skies above you are gloomy with a thick layer of clouds that seem to be rolling in from the bay to the north. A sharp, cold wind pulls at your cloak, tossing it about and billowing it back and forth as you walk down the muddy and unpaved streets of this large port town. The townspeople seem to be giving you a wide berth as you stride purposefully towards your next destination. At last session, you said you had 2 places in mind. So, Ichabod, where are you planning on going first?
Well, I think it's rude to bother people in the afternoon. I'd rather stop into the police station in the morning. So I think I would go to whatever the house is that they were staying at.
Okay. The priest that you met did tell you how to get there. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Sure.
You're kind of asking around, trying to get some townspeople to give you directions.
I'm not very good at that.
No.
Nobody wants to talk to me.
Yeah, you have that thunderous look on your face after being told that your wife and children basically pieced out the moment you went to war, and I'm sure that's affecting.
I'm wearing a powerful scowl.
Yeah. So I imagine that's probably making things a little bit difficult, and most of the people don't seem to really want to talk to you too much.
All right. In that case, would the police station be easier to find, or could I potentially find an inn and sleep overnight, hang out, sleep overnight, and get back at it in the morning?
Both are reasonably possible. There are guards that patrol here and there. It wouldn't be hard to find one and just ask where a guard station is, or there are a couple towns in the port. So really, it's up to you what you want to do.
All right. I'll talk to a guard.
Okay. You find a pair of guards. They're strolling about. These are your very typical, just men in leather armor with a spear and a short sword. They seem like they're the type that don't really get paid well or really have to do a whole lot through their day. Just basically walk about, make sure nobody's killing each other. But they do direct you to a nearby guardhouse, which is just a couple streets away. They give you directions easily enough.
All right. I'll saunter on over there.
Okay. And you are greeted when you step into this. It is a long, wide building, single story, made of stone, which is kind of stand out quite a bit because most of the places here in Port Suliard are made of wood and very ramshackle. But this is a pretty official looking building. And as you step inside, you do see a bustling room filled with people. There is a bar table in front with a man sitting behind it, reading a newspaper. There are people in jail cells kind of making a bit of a ruckus, and you can see a few of the guards kind of yelling at him, telling him to shut up.
All right. So I step inside. So it's bustling, but not because they're busy, checking people in or anything.
No, it's
just a lot of guards.
Yeah, there's just a lot of people going about their business. That's all I was meaning to say.
All right. So I'd like to I'll walk up to that guard who's reading the newspaper, because he ain't busy, and say, "Excuse me, sir. My name is Ichabod Sykes. I'm a servant of the Father. I was hoping I could speak to one of you, or perhaps your superior. I've got a few questions I want to ask about somebody you probably had some run-ins with about 8 months or so ago."
He kind of glances away from his newspaper and looks you over. Port Suliard, they're famous for their newspapers here. But
really good newspaper.
Yeah, really good newspaper.
Yeah, I really didn't want to bother you in the evening like this, but I'm afraid I couldn't find where I was trying to go, and I'm trying to get something done today. So,
what can I do for you, sir?
Well, have you been working here long? in the past couple years?
He kind of looks over at himself. He's kind of chubby. He's got a big old beard.
Yeah, he's been here for a while.
He's been here for a while. He's like,
Okay.
I've worked this beat for 25 years.
Wow. All right. In that case, I pop the squat right in front of him, and I say, "My family has been staying in this town since I was off fighting a war, and I heard that my son got into a little bit of trouble while he was here. His name would be Ishmael. Last name probably, well, she's been going by Nightingale, so I'll say Ishmael Nightingale."
He thinks for a few moments. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Oh my god, I'm horrible.
Wow.
Yeah. Not having a really good day today.
You're really not. And the guard, he kind of thinks to himself, and Ishmael Nightingale. No, I don't think I've ever heard that name before. I mean,
I guess that's good.
We have plenty of types around here. You say he was getting in with the wrong crowd?
Yeah, this Cerulean Syndicate. And don't get me wrong, officer, I'm not here to file any complaints. I just want to know what exactly he was up to so I can properly discipline him.
He thinks to himself, he says, well, the Cerulean Syndicate certainly is here, though they try to keep as low a profile as they can. You definitely see street urchins going around picking pockets and things of that nature. How old was your boy?
He would have been about 16.
He nods to himself and thinks, well, you know, those type of kids, they get in young with the syndicate. That tends to define their life. I suppose you could always go over and ask them themselves. They tend to hang out in various street corners and things like that, but don't really know where they make their base.
All right. Little urchin kids hanging on street corners associated with the syndicate. I think that's enough to work on. But listen, I'll be staying, what's the nearest inn?
What's the nearest inn?
I just want to tell him, if you talk to anybody who has any information, then this is where they can reach me. And then I did such a bad job with my persuasion, I also slide him a gold coin.
Probably a good idea. Let's see here. Yeah, there's Astor's Tavern. Not too far away from here. Place is cheap and clean.
Well, I'm going to get me a room there. I'll be here for probably a day or so. So if you happen to talk to anybody and they are more familiar with the name Ishmael, have them talk to me.
He nods and he says, well, tell you what I'll do. You go and get yourself your room for the night. I'll ask the captain, see if he's heard anything about a Ishmael Sykes, an Ishmael Nightingale, you said. An Ishmael Nightingale, and see if any of them can remember anything. How about that? As he takes the gold coin.
That will be much appreciated, sir. And I tip my hat to him.
Okay.
And then I look for urchins on the street.
Fair enough.
I'll punch a kid, I don't care. I'll punch a kid.
Wow. Okay, so this is going to become really weird this session. Yes, go ahead and make a perception check, looking for street urchins as you make your way down a few streets towards Astor's Tavern.
Keeping an eye out.
No, if you pick up a street urchin by the legs and use them to hit another street urchin, technically
it's only if it comes to that. I'm thinking I could, if they're children, I could probably reasonably intimidate a child into spilling some information. So I probably won't have to do any child slapping.
Well, with that 7, you're walking around looking, trying to find somebody. And as you go past each alleyway and look down, you're not seeing anything. No kids, no hangers on. You get closer to the tavern, and you're just about to walk in when back behind you, you see a small child come out of a store and turn down the alley opposite of the inn itself.
Oh, you know what? I've got a good idea. Since I'm bad at perceiving, but they like to pick pockets, I would like to put a little coin in a satchel and tie it on my waist in a way that it's gonna jangle very loudly as I walk through the street. Like I'm just a moronic tourist.
Okay, so you're just going to walk around for a little bit and hope that you get pickpocketed? Okay.
I'll walk in the general direction that child was going, and try to see if I can lure me a kid.
That doesn't sound creepy at all.
Yeah. Like I'm really getting, hey, little kid, come check out my van. There's candy.
No, there's gold coins, and you got information I want.
Yeah, I dig it. So you go walking, heading in the direction, following that street urchin. I'm going to allow you to make one more perception check to try to keep an eye on this apparent child as he's walking down the alleyway. And I also want you to make a deception check, because you're kind of flaunting that purse, and trying to entice somebody to grab it.
All right, I'll make the perception check first. That's a 22. I perceive child. Deception. 13.
Okay. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Wow. That was nat 20 for that sleight of hand. It was supposed to be sleight of hand, not survival. But still.
I was kind of hoping I would get to intimidate a child.
Yeah. So here's what happens. You go walking down the alleyway, and you can see the short individual hurrying. He's wearing just very thin, ragged tan pants, a button-down shirt with a little light jacket that seems very threadbare, and you're not being too slow. You're not being too fast. You're just walking confidently, trying to show off that that pouch on your belt as you're walking. And about 10 minutes later, the alleyway kind of turns off and V's. You do notice that the individual turns down to the right, and you continue to follow. And then you stop, and you see that this person has turned and is holding a crossbow as he's looking up at you. You stop at the end of the alleyway there, and you realize that this is not a child that you've been following. It's a halfling.
All right.
He just pulled out a Glock.
And he just pulled out a Glock and is pointing it at you, and he's like, I don't know who you are, but why are you following me?
I put my hands up and I say, well, do I want to try to lie? Honestly, I'm following you because you look like you might have something to do with the Cerulean Syndicate, am I right?
What, you see a halfling walking down the street bringing home groceries and you automatically assume he's a thief? And you do notice that he's holding a bag that has like a baguette and some vegetables in one arm.
Well, to be honest, I thought you were a kid more so than a thief. But can I roll an insight check to see if I'm super mistaken?
Yeah, go ahead and roll an insight check.
22.
You're looking this guy up and down. He has a crossbow.
You could be giving me Jean Valjean vibes.
Yeah, a little bit. You get the sense now that you're looking at this guy, he's carrying groceries in his hand. He has a weapon as well. You notice with your 22 insight that there's some tattoos on his arms now that you're looking at him, and they seem to be more of nautical themed, an anchor and that sort of thing. This is probably a sailor.
Sir, I'm awfully embarrassed. I mistook you for somebody else, and I do apologize. And then I turn around, kick a rock, and walk away.
Let's hope he didn't know anything about your son.
Well, if you don't mind, would you answer just one question for me?
Yeah, he kind of make a persuasion check, I think.
Yeah. Well, I do look awful embarrassed.
Yeah, you do look awful embarrassed, and he's kind of looking at you annoyed.
Ooh, 22.
22.
22s.
He said, the guy says, "Yeah, fine. What's your question?"
You mentioned that you had a family, and I'm simply a concerned father. My wife and my 2 sons lived here upwards of 8 months ago. Do you know anything about my son? His name is Ishmael Nightingale, or maybe his mom, Prudence.
The halfling
I don't know if you've had any run-ins with little thieving urchins, but my boy probably was one of them.
I can't say I recognize either of those names. To be honest, I've only gotten back to port a few weeks ago. But if you're looking for street urchins, check down by the wharf. They tend to hang out there a lot.
Well, thank you, sir. I'm very sorry for taking up your time.
Yeah, just a word of warning. You seem like the type that is very confident of himself. He's looking at you up and down. He's like, watch your coin purse down there.
Oh, it was a trap. It was a thing. Anyway, okay, I untie it and put it back in the...
Well, the funny thing is, you go down and reach for that purse. It's not
there.
God damn it! Little urchin slipped right past me.
Yeah,
All
go
right.
ahead and make another perception check. You're looking around wild, like, where the hell did this thing go?
And weren't too much anyway. 15.
Yeah, unfortunately, with that 15, he rolled really well. And you're looking, and just a bit of tumbleweed goes by behind you in the alleyway. But other than that, nobody's there.
I'll say it was 10 gold pieces.
Sounds good. When you've just lost 10 gold pieces with his 28 freaking, or 26 sleight of hand and 21 stealth that they rolled.
Well, now I put some bait in the water, you know. So tomorrow I'm going to get him with the hook. I'm going to go to the inn and rest for the night. I'm rattled today. I need to sleep.
Fair enough. Well, Astor's Tavern, like I said, is over there. It's the street outside, as you're walking by, has this monument of some heroic-looking man that, as you get close and you kind of look at it, the statue is made out of wood, and it is a tiefling with curved horns around his head. He seems to be wearing like some type of armor, and he has a sword there, and it's just like standing there in that heroic pose, which is right outside the tavern. The tavern itself is a plaster row house with a brown shingled roof and finely crafted furniture. It contains a small bell over the door and a large harp by the hearth as you walk in. Astor himself is standing behind the bar. He is a purple-skinned tiefling who kind of gives you a big, wide, sharp-toothy grin as you approach his bar.
Oh, man.
What can I do for you?
Just a room, sir.
He looks you up and down, and he kind of...
I give him a scowl. Because he looks like a demon.
Yeah, absolutely he does. And he tells you, as you scowl at him, he says to you, "That'll be 5 gold for a night."
A little steep, don't you think? Can I roll insight, see if he's upcharging me?
Yeah,
Is he
go for
upcharging me? Okay.
Go for it.
I'll just do it real quick. I'm not going to argue too much. Ooh, 20.
Yeah, he's definitely upcharging you. He does not seem to like the scowl or the way you're looking down at him.
I slap 5 gold on the table because I'm not about to argue with this guy.
Yeah, he takes that 5 gold and he puts down a key and directs you to the back hallway where the third door on the left is yours.
Okay.
The furnishings is sparse, to say the least. There's a bed, there's a table, there's a lantern, and there's a chest of drawers, but that's it.
Not by me. I'm having a bad day.
Okay.
So-
do you want to do anything else, or are you just planning on going straight to bed?
Yeah, I think I'll go because I don't want to drag it out too long, but I need to get a fresh start. So Ichabod gotta do his prayer, try to get some guidance from Father Bowers, and then start the next day fresh and anew, and free of sin.
Well, I don't know if you're free of sin, but
I will be in the morning after I pray.
But you can go to bed and take your long rest with no issue.
Oif.
So,
all right.
So what happened while you were talking to that guy? Someone did come up from behind you and pick your pocket. Unfortunately, you just didn't have a good enough perception to find him.
Okay. That's okay.
But that is what happened, just so you know.
Yeah.
But you do wake up the next morning. Smells of breakfast greet you. It only costs you 5 silver for a meal, which can be pretty much whatever you want. It doesn't matter. But where are you planning on heading in the morning?
First stop is going to be the house.
Okay.
Oh, you're not gonna go try and find some kindling, maybe some flint and tinder? Burn down the house of the devil?
Listen, to each man his own. He's not my concern right now. I'm only here for true evil. So we'll see. True evil, like little
So maybe
out by the wharf. All right, but yeah, I want to go to the house, see if I can get any more clues, and then I imagine the wharf kids probably be out later when it gets dark again. So spend my day looking in the house.
Fair enough. Well, it does take you a little time, but after asking around, you can eventually find your way towards the house that Prudence supposedly lived in. As you approach, you find that you're actually led to a very cheap side of town. Most of the houses there, very thin walls. You get the sense that a lot of these are built quickly and are just ignored from that point on. So you're definitely in more of a slummy area of the port. You're also not far from the wharf. So you can make your way from the house to the wharf relatively quickly. It definitely smells a lot more like fish and like trash in this area. And as you're walking, you can't help but reflect on the fact that this is where your wife had lived for the last few years.
Can't fathom why this is better than home, but once I find her, I'll ask.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You do head to the house, and you find that it is currently lived in. There is a human woman that is outside putting up laundry. She has 2 small children that seem to be running around her feet, and you can't help but notice as you approach them that they seem to have some devilish features about them as well. Both have much ruddier skin than their mother, and you can see dark eyes with yellow irises.
Little devil kids. All right. God damn it. Wish this was not lived in. I will walk over and take off my hat and wave to her and say, "Excuse me, madam."
The children immediately go scurrying behind their mother's dress, kind of hiding behind, seeing a stranger approach. And the woman just sets down her laundry and looks up at you and says, "Yes, can I help you?"
Well, lovely day, isn't it? I've actually just got a few questions for you about the people who used to live in this here house.
Okay, I didn't know the previous resident, but I'll help you if I can. What can I do for you?
Did they happen to leave any belongings behind or anything that I might be able to look through? You see, it was my wife and my sons, so I'd like to recover anything they may have forgotten.
Oh, she kind of looks a little taken aback by this. Yeah, actually, she left. The previous tenant left quite a lot of things in the house. They left with very little other than clothes and personal belongings. So all of the furniture that is in the house is still there. Now, the landlord said that we could have anything that we found in there as long as we cleaned it up. So that's what my husband and I did.
Don't worry, ma'am. I don't intend on trying to reclaim any furniture or anything, just like personal effects, maybe letters or some souvenirs.
Make a persuasion check.
All right. Let's see if I can be more persuasive today. Ooh, I'm going to bless myself.
You're going to bless yourself first?
I bless myself.
Does that work on skills? Because I don't know if that works on... Bless works on saving throws and attacks.
Oh, you're right. Attack roll and saving throw. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
So,
but I rolled a 20 anyway, so...
Yeah, you rolled a 20 anyway, and she says to you, after considering for a few moments, wait right here. She goes inside, and you can hear her kind of moving a few things around. And about 10 minutes later, she comes up with a small stack of books and a piece of cloth. And she holds these things out, and she says, we did throw away quite a lot of things that just didn't seem, useful, but there are a few things we saved. They had a few books that were left over. These are all religious books, and I kind of she looks you up and down, and she says, I feel like you'd get a lot more use out of these than I would.
Certainly.
And she also hands you the piece of cloth. Turns out to be a cloak, periwinkle blue, that you actually recognize as you hold up. You had bought this for your wife several years beforehand, before you left.
Periwinkle blue cloak.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to, while I'm standing here, cast locate object on my wife's wedding ring to see if she left it behind or took it with her.
Okay. How does the spell locate object work?
So describe or name an object that is familiar to you. You sense the direction to the object's location as long as it is within 100 feet of you.
1,000.
1,000 feet of you.
Okay, interesting. You take the books and
this one's just for my heart.
Yeah, and you thank her and you cast the spell. Do you just immediately cast it, or are you explaining to her what you're doing?
No, I would probably step away, thank her for giving me these items, and take them, and then step away. But while I'm out in front of the house, cast the spell.
That's fine. I was just curious how it looked, to be honest, because she watches you. The kids watch
me
you.
Do weird stuff.
She's watching you just walk around to the outside of her little fence and cast a spell, but it does ping, and you realize that you're sensing her ring on the other side of the house.
Like still inside?
Outside of it. You actually kind of walk around the yard a little bit, and this woman's watching you. And you realize it's in the backyard, not far from the outer wall. Underground.
Underground? Okay.
It's buried in the backyard, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that's hard for me to go into her yard. Dig it up. I'm too polite. Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. I've got an idea that something of mine might be buried in your backyard. Would you mind if I retrieved that? I know it might seem a strange request, but then I'll be right out of your hair.
She gives you an incredulous look.
I know. It's odd.
She looks at you again and says, "Look, I already gave you the things that your wife left. What more do you want from us? You really just going to keep bothering us?"
Well, I was hoping after this one thing I wouldn't, but that's all right. I wave to her and walk away with the intention to come back after dark and take it from her back.
She was getting ready to just say that, fine, just hurry up and...
All right, I hop the fence. I hop the fence and give her kids a little look, because I imagine they're staring at me. And I'll go back there and use a dagger to dig it up out of the backyard.
And I hope for your sake it's just the ring that's buried there.
I really hope it's just the ring that's buried there.
Well, you tell me, Ichabod, were there any other objects that perhaps you might have given your wife throughout your years of marriage?
Well, I don't know if I was really the gift-giving type. Probably would be a rare few gifts. So I think periwinkle blue cloak, ring, maybe there was other stuff, but not a whole lot.
Let's say that when you dig it up, you do find a small leather sack that's about a foot, maybe 2 feet down. It wasn't buried too far down, but far enough that it was harder to find. As you pull the sack out and you open it up, you do see that inside there is a necklace, a simple necklace with a religious symbol on it, the ring, a couple locks of hair that as you pull them out and look at them, you realize that they're child locks of they're locks of your children's hair that your wife had taken when they were infants.
Well, thank God.
Yeah, it's just a bag of some cherished possessions that she had buried and hid there, including your wedding ring.
Yeah, I was worried it might be her body.
Oh.
Rip. Well, I take it because she may have left him behind to keep him safe, or she left him behind to sever any connection with me. So I take it very sadly. Walk away.
Okay. And as you're walking away, you're looking through the books that you were given. Most of them are religious text, things that you probably would have owned in Golfrin at the time that she just left and didn't want anymore. One thing that you do find in there that's among them is a diary. Prudence's diary.
Well, don't mind if I do.
Are you going to read it as you're heading to the wharf, or are you good in Suliard?
Okay, I do got to go to the wharf. All right, I'll read it on my way back. It'll be reading material for the 5 days it takes me. But I will go to the wharf this evening and try to spy around for children.
Fair enough. Okay, so how are you going to search the wharf? Tell me about what you're going to do at the wharf.
All right, so I wait until it's nightfall, of course. I'm not going to wear my plate mail so I can try to be sneaky. Well, I mean, they do know I'm stupid, so maybe they would try to pick me again. But I don't know. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to be stealthy. So I take off my plate armor.
Okay, you take off your plate armor, and you're stealthing. You're kind of just skulking around the wharf.
I'll walk around, and then I'll kind of pass by a couple times, and then if I see anybody, I'll really drop into stealth mode, which is something I have for sure.
While you're away from the inn, they break into your room and steal your plate mail.
No, my plate.
Ooh,
Look,
I should
it's
do that. I
carries-
should roll for that.
No. Okay, I put my plate mail back on. I go clunk, 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 all the way down to the floor.
We're just messing with you.
Yeah.
No, okay. All right. So yeah, I'm peeking around.
Okay, so you're peeking around. You're walking around the wharf, looking for any sign of children or anything like that.
Yep.
Go ahead and make your perception check.
20. So yeah, I just needed a good sleep.
Okay. Well, with your 20, you do a few passes down through the wharf, just walking along streets at random.
Mhm.
After about a couple hours, the nights truly and well come in. You turn down an alleyway, and you hear just the slightest rustle coming up behind you. You continue to walk, but you're aware of this presence, and you do feel your cloak being lifted back.
All right. I want to let him get as close as possible, and then I want to turn around and just grab him. Grab
Okay.
that child by the shoulders.
Make an athletics check.
All right. 18.
Yeah. You spin around as quickly as you can, reach out and grab the arm of a very young-looking dwarf. You can tell that this young man is very young. He has no beard to speak of whatsoever. He's about the size of like a 6 or 7 year old. But
Okay.
you can tell that there is just a bit of stubble. He's probably like not quite teens.
Okay.
But this kid's looking up at you, and his eyes go big as saucers. And he's like, "I'm sorry, sir. I thought you were somebody else."
Can I look at his clothes? He looks like an urchin. It's pretty clear.
Definitely looks like an urchin.
Okay, definitely an urchin. And I say, well, listen, kid, I might find it in my heart to forgive you if you answer me a couple questions.
He kind of gives you a shaky look. Go ahead and make an intimidation check.
All right. 15.
Yeah, this kid is definitely terrified
Good.
at being caught by this big, huge man in kind of not quite priestly finery, but sort of. And he's like, I'm sorry, sir. I'll tell you. Well, I don't know anything. I'm.
Well, you ain't even heard my questions yet.
I don't
How do
know
you know
anything.
you don't know it?
I don't know
Anything at
anything.
all?
No,
Well,
I
it's
don't know
clear you
nothing.
don't know much of all because you're out here thieving in the streets. And if somebody had an education, they'd get a real job.
Well, this is my job. I'm sorry that.
All right. I'll just get to the questions. Do you know anybody named Ishmael? He was probably hanging around with y'all somewhere around 8 months or so ago, doing this job. Spit it out, child.
Yeah, the kid thinks for a moment and is, Ishmael. Yeah, I know Ishmael. That jerk up and left us.
Oh, I see you and Ishmael were good friends then, huh?
The kid kind of, not really I didn't know him that well. I saw him and his buddies hanging out from time to time. They're the ones that introduced me to Master Caven. And
Master Caven?
No,
Who's
and
Master Caven? He like your boss? I do in
no, he
quotation
just
marks.
kind of shuts his mouth really quick and said, "No, he's nobody at all."
All right. Well, that just tells me that he's somebody real important. Why doesn't Master Caven want you to talk about him? He hiding around in town or something?
The kid kind of shudders a little bit.
Can I roll an insight check to see if
Yeah, go for it.
just at that? 25.
Oh yeah, he's definitely talking about his boss, and he's very much regretting the fact that he said the name.
All right. Do I get any inkling of whether he's like in town?
You don't
From how he reacts.
With your 25, bosses tend to stay in the town that they're the boss over. So, from what you know of thieves and the Thieves Guild in general, each city has its own little group that runs their section and their town. And while they do overall report to the Cerulean Syndicate, each one functions as its own little private cell. So whatever group is here in Suliard, they're affiliated with the main branch of the Thieves Guild, but at the same time they're also slightly independent. So chances are a boss of the Thieves Guild in this city would be in this city.
Okay. Stuff to know. Well, I just got one more for you. What kind of trouble would Ishmael and his buddies get into? Same kind of stealing, purse snatching? Is that about it, or was it something a little worse?
The kid says, well, everyone starts off by just pickpocketing and cut pursing, that sort of thing. That's how you get your start. And if you do it well enough, you can pay off the bosses, and they'll start teaching you how to do more things. But your kid, you're the guy you're asking after, Ishmael. Well, he ran with a crew of 4 others, and they were really, really good. Like I'm just starting out, but they could pickpocket anybody. They made tons of money for the bosses. They would hang out down by the docks and hit the sailors as they were getting off their ship.
Interesting. All right. Last thing, I just want descriptions of these buddies. So you can hand wave that, but that way if we go to Rowena and I'm looking around the street, I want to be able to recognize these kids.
His friends? Well, there's Fee. He was a tabaxi. He had grace fur. There was Bellman. She's a human, about Ishmael's age. She has red hair and, kind of skinny. There's Vestal. He was a tiefling, a gray-skinned tiefling. And he has ram's horns. And then he kind of... And then there is a dwarf, but I don't really know his name.
Okay.
Your son was hanging out with the devil.
Turns out my kid's cool as hell. Out of character. In character. God damn it, that boy. When I see him. No, okay.
You get the sense that when the young man doesn't want to tell the dwarf's name, that
is that your brother?
That's what the sense you get. Yeah.
Listen.
He kind of hangs his head. He's like, "Yeah, that was my big brother, Raren."
Raren. Big bro Raren.
Yes, big bro was raring to go.
Dwarf. And I imagine he looked a lot like you, no beard of any kind, or
he has a beard.
Just really struggling to pop one up.
He looks really proud and he looks very offended. He's like, my brother has a beard.
Yeah, what color is it?
It's brown, like
right.
mine. And he kind of scrubs at the little peach fuzz on his chin that's clearly blonde. And
yeah. Okay, buddy. Well, thank you. You've been very helpful to me, despite the part where you tried to rob me, and I'm sure you're going to be robbing plenty of other people in this town. I just want you to know your brother Raren's in for a world of hurt, and you continue on this path, you're going to be in for it too. And then I set him on the ground.
And
I've been holding him the whole time.
You've just been holding him up the whole time. Yeah, he drops with a thud and just immediately picks himself up. He's got tears streaming down his face now. And
go on, get.
Yeah, he just turns and runs.
Fucking kids, I swear. All right. Well, that's good information. I don't want to keep everybody too long, so I don't think I'm going to look for Master Caven.
Okay.
But I'll get him on the way back. No, I don't know. Info for later.
So what are you planning to do from there?
Well, I think I stay for one more night, and then I pack up everything I've found and learned, and I start heading back, get back to my friends.
Okay, you staying at the same inn?
Yes.
Okay, 5 more gold for the night to stay there. Another...
After the day I've had, I lean over the counter and I go, listen, I know you're trying to stiff me. You know, trying to stiff me is like trying to get a sunrise past a rooster. I can see it. So why don't we call it 3 gold and just call it even?
Make an intimidation check or a persuasion check, whichever you're...
No, I'll intimidate.
That's what I figured.
11. Hold on. I'll do a superiority die.
Okay.
Superiority die.
As the innkeep pulls out a Glock.
Yeah, as the innkeep
Oh my
pulling
God,
a
12.
dagger. Yeah, he pulls out a dagger and just slams it down on the bar, like a few inches away from your hand. And he says, 6 gold if you want a room in my inn.
You know what? I'm like itching to kick your ass right now. But I got a whole day ahead of me.
Oh, you know what? You want to do it? Let's do it.
All right, you want to fight? Okay. You know I've had enough of this nasty town full of demons, and ain't nobody hospitable here, and you're raising little kids to be thieves. So yeah, let's fucking fight.
Okay, fine. Because if you scream that out loud, what happens is literally everyone in the bar stands up, and you're hearing weapons drawn. You're hearing crossbows.
Like all just to me, or is this like bar fight scenario?
This is like they're protecting the bartender because he takes care of them.
Exactly. Have you ever gone into a bar and tried to piss off the bartender? Like everyone stands up and is about to kick your ass.
You know what?
Like Deadpool when they try and hassle, in the bar and.
Yeah, exactly. Like Deadpool.
I'm trying to think about whether I want a compelled duel on this guy. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. I put my hands up and I say, all right. We got off to a bit of a heated start tonight. I've had a long day. You got a business to run. I'll pay you the 5 gold pieces. I put 5 gold on the table.
Yeah.
Still trying to get away with it.
So you know how the DM loves to be really realistic and at the same time doesn't want to take up the entire session with one thing?
You can do a wave to me stumbling out of the bar beaten and bloodied.
Yeah, that's probably
what would happen.
That's probably what's going to happen because more than likely what he would be doing at that point is telling you, you just get the fuck out of my bar.
Yeah. All right. So I would definitely be mad and get in a fight with all these people and then get my ass kicked and then stumble out of the bar like 10 minutes later and go, curse you and curse all your wives and all your thieving kids and I ain't never coming back here. And I spit on the ground and run away. I spit a bunch of blood on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what happens. For the sake of this, they decide not to kill you because, killing somebody brings the guards, but beating the shit out of somebody doesn't. So you eventually wake up in the alley behind it, knock the fuck out, get up. You have 200 gold stolen from you just as a consequence, and other than that, you go stumbling off to find someplace else to sleep it off.
All right. And then once I'm better and I just have a black eye, I go home. Yeah. All right, start heading back to Coltras.
Yeah. You can start heading back to Coltras the next day. It's been an interesting time in Suliard for Ichabod Sykes.
Suliard? I fucking hate that town. Worst place ever.
Suliard, more like Suckliard.
Yeah. But eventually you can make your way back to Coltras Keep. It takes another 4 days to get there, so you're going to be arriving about the same time that your friends have picked up their commissions. Is there anything else you guys wanted to do in Northimia, or are you just going to teleport back to Coltrest whenever you pick up your commissions?
I did actually think of something, but I didn't want to take up too much time with it, so.
What are you wanting to do, Corin?
I wanted to see if I could find somebody to talk to from the Cerulean Syndicate.
Okay. Well, looks like Anesthetic is in chat right now, and she's giving you her inspiration of the day. Anesthetic is
thank
a
you.
Patreon member who loves to watch the show, so she gets to give out inspiration once a week. So, you've got the inspiration right now, and you're looking for someone from the Cerulean Syndicate. Now,
Yes.
with Willow there, she could probably help you out with that if you asked her to, or are you just trying to do it on your own?
No, I'm definitely asking Willow. Do you think you could point me in the direction of one of your blue friends? I have a bit of a question that they might be able to assist with.
Blue friend?
Yes, the cerulean kind.
You mean them?
Is she
They're-
pointing at someone or?
No. I'm. She's trying to figure out if you're saying what you're saying.
I'm
without saying it.
I just figure they might be able to acquire something for me that would be suspicious to do in another manner.
I can point you to the right direction, but if I go with you, it's going to be a different situation than what you're probably wanting it to be.
Okay. I appreciate any help you can give.
And then I'll assist them.
Yay.
Okay, so the Cerulean Syndicate, like I said, is the Thieves Guild, and there is definitely a branch of it here in Northimia. Now, what specifically are you looking for? Because that kind of, like, you can find just your normal cut purse down damn near any street corner if you're looking hard enough. If you're looking for, like, a fence or...
like a black market type guy.
You can find, there are those. There's also people who specialize in B&Es, people who specialize, in running numbers or...
No, I'm looking for like a guy who can get things.
Yeah, that would probably be a fence, then. Someone who acquires items and sells them to other people. So, Willow, you can explain that to Willow, and Willow would probably describe for you where a lot of times people who run pawn shops are those types, or at least a pawn shop is often a front. Now, the two of you are going to have to kind of look around Northimia, so you're going to be spending but you do have a week where your commissions are being worked on. So you could have easily spent that time together looking. Willow, what I want you to do is I want you to make an investigation check with advantage, since you and Corin are doing this together. And hell, you can even probably talk Blaznir into going along with you, or whomever. But go ahead and make investigation with advantage, looking for the Thieves Guild markings that would alert fellow members of the guild like yourself that this is a fence. So, investigation with advantage, Willow.
Oh, nobody. Hey.
Okay. Yeah, with that 22, Willow, probably on your second day of walking around Northimia, you do spot a pawn shop, and you stop and kind of examine it, and you do notice the markings along the outside of the door in Thieves' Cant that would alert fellow thieves such as yourself that this is a man who buys and sells illicit goods. The pawn shop itself is called, let's see, we're going to use a completely random name because it doesn't actually matter. So we're going to say Falvar's Finest. So you go, you do see a place, Falvar's Finest, a little pawn shop in the southwestern section of Northimia. So what are you doing, Corin?
I'm going in.
Well, the door opens up and you find a small shop filled with lots and lots of shelves of just random crap, from tools to general supplies and merchandise. There's several locked cases in the back filled with jewelry and things of that nature, and there's probably like swords and spears tacked up on the wall, like behind secured chains. Like, have you ever been in a modern pawn shop? They always have assault rifles along the whole thing. That's kind of what this looks like, but medieval style.
So I'm gonna
Falvar is... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just walking up to the counter.
Yep. So the guy behind the counter is a dwarven man. He's got black hair, tied back into a ponytail, and a short, kind of manicured beard. He looks up at you and he says, "I don't see many elves around here."
Yes, I know they are quite rare.
That's for sure. And he's like kind of looking you up and down. He's like, "Are you like a prince or something?"
Or something. The sign... I'm doing my best to make that in air quotes. Outside your shop said that you might be able to help me.
He makes several gestures with his hands. Like it almost a picture like ASI a little bit, but with a few like knocks and a couple head gestures as well. And then he just looks at you.
Willow's not actually in the shop with me, is she?
Did Willow come with you?
Willow?
She would not have. She's outside.
Okay.
Yeah. So he just kind of waits for a moment, and then his eyes kind of scowl a little more. He's like, "Are you sure you're in the right place?"
I believe so. I have a friend who pointed me here. I just don't happen to count myself among your membership. But I assumed that you might be able to acquire something for me, and I'm willing to pay for it.
Make a persuasion check.
Hell yeah. I actually have a decent score by now.
Well, but make it a disadvantage because you are not a thief. You have said flat out you're not a thief. You got a friend who's a thief who told you where to go, and that kind of irritates him. So you're making this roll at disadvantage.
Oh shit. If I use inspiration, would that cancel it out?
Yes, it would.
Then I will do that. And make it normally.
Okay.
14.
14, kind of not the greatest in the world, but not horrible either. And he says, yes.
I'll hold up my hand and say, I by no means am attempting to reveal to anyone any of your secrets. In fact, if it would make you feel better, you would be, shall we say, keeping one of mine. If you were to acquire this for me.
What sort of thing are you looking for, Mr. Elf?
You know that texts exist to assist one when looking to, say, learn a new language. Do you not?
You're looking for a language dictionary?
An Elvish language dictionary.
He gives you another really strange look. What does an elf need with an elven dictionary?
Exactly.
He kind of thinks to himself a little bit, and he says, "Not gonna lie, guy. That's probably the weirdest request I've gotten in a while. I mean, I'm sure they exist out there somewhere.
Yep.
Your best bet would probably be the Erudite Conclave. They are the lore masters. They collect all sorts of information. Now,
Yes, but I'm looking for a way to obtain that information without drawing suspicion.
well, that's the challenge right there, isn't it? I'm not saying it's impossible, but breaking into some place like the Erudite Conclave, extremely dangerous. Those types, you do know about those types, right?
Yes, and I'm certainly willing to listen if you have any ideas on an easier way to accomplish things.
He sits there and he thinks about it for a little bit, and he says, I mean, you can always just walk up to the door and ask them. But if you're looking to pay somebody to break in and steal something from them,
I mean, they don't necessarily have to steal it from them. They could merely ask to transcribe something. I'm simply saying that it would be, as you have put it, a very odd request for an elf to come up to them looking to learn Elven. Don't you agree?
he kind of shrugs his shoulders a little bit. Look, I'm not here to judge. You need something like that, I suppose I can spend some time trying to find. I mean, a book like that ain't going to cost much. You're going to be spending a lot more money just to get one of my boys to break into it than you would just, going to the local library. But he shrugs again.
Well,
you got the coin. It's yours to spend.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, Matt. I have a 20 intelligence and a 14 wisdom. I'm pretty sure that this would be pretty, telling if I were to just go up there and try to do it that way, right?
Well, so, I mean, would it be weird? Like, the Erudite Conclave, you know a bit about them because you are a member, or a former member of the Institute Arcanum. We got Manapot Studios raiding with a party of 8, and Retro Ted saying, "Heyo, Manapot raid." And Manapot Studios is saying, "Hello, adventurers. Hello, Manapot Studio and friends. Welcome to the stream. We are currently in Northimia, and Corin, who has recently been transformed into a high elf. A high elf has realized that he doesn't speak Elven and is trying to figure out a way to learn it. He's approached the Thieves Guild and one of their fences and asked for an Elvish dictionary, and the only place that he knows of to get one is a place called the Erudite Conclave. Now, Corin, as I said, the Erudite Conclave, you know a little bit about them. They are the lore masters. It's an independent organization that was set up as a kind of like a peace agreement between all of the nations of Loroupa. They chronicle history. They're pretty much with every major kingdom, working with it to record their lore, to record their history. They're basically like a big group of archaeologists and lore masters that spend their day just trying to study Loroupa and the world around them. So
Okay.
they have tons and tons of information, but they're very stingy with this information. If you are not a member of the Erudite Conclave, you can't just go in and get stuff from them. Membership is complicated at times, but it can be gained. But since you are a member of the Institute, that there's always been an animosity between the Institute and the Conclave. Mainly because they both are very, very jealous over their wisdom and knowledge. Both of them are very jealous of their magics. And they don't like it that there's other organizations out there that hoard information. So they've always kind of been at odds, butting heads and that sort of thing throughout their history. But those people who do become members generally have access to all of that stored information. And you know that they are decently paid as well.
Okay.
But, go ahead.
Does anybody know, like, do the general public know what the sort of process is for becoming a member, or is that something that they guard pretty closely?
They guard pretty closely. However, you've actually been in the Conclave the last time you were here at Northimia.
Yes.
If you remember,
A
quite
fight.
a few of you, yes, were in a fight. One of them won and was offered potential membership and a master training class as well.
That's
with,
true.
A master monk of the Institute. Kaya won that back when she was here last.
Then I'm going to go see if I can connect with the rest of my party and explain to Kaya what the hell's going on.
Yeah, with that knowledge, you just kind of bolt out of the pawn shop, and the dwarf is just watching you.
Standing
run
there
off.
confused.
Yeah, standing there really fucking confused what the hell's going on. But you can eventually meet back up with the rest of your party.
Kaya, I just recalled that I have a unique problem, and you might be the very person to assist me in solving it, if you are willing to do so.
I can sure try.
As I am attempting to hide my identity, it would be very strange and difficult to try and attempt to learn the language of this new form. But I seem to recall that the last time we were here, you were offered membership in the Enclave, and as lore masters and librarians, they would undoubtedly have things I could study.
So are you wanting me to perhaps try to check out a book from the library for you?
If you can, or offer an introduction, or whatever is going to be the most direct way of doing things. I'm not entirely certain how that whole process works, but...
Sure, I can definitely help you out there.
Kaya, as I was telling Corin earlier, you had fought in that tournament at the Erudite Conclave the last time you were here in Northimia. They did offer you potential membership, and you do know that one of their master monks, Master Ohm, was set to do a training session with you at some point. They said he would find you at the proper time.
If they need some kind of reasoning, you can simply tell them that it is an attempt to better get to know one of your fellow traveling companions. I'd rather they not question why an elf would need to learn Elven.
Sure, understandable.
The joys of reincarnation.
Yep.
But sure enough, Kaya, if you want to head over to the Conclave along with Corin, you certainly could.
That's fine. I didn't have any other things planned.
Okay. Willow, Blaznir, what are the two of you doing during this time?
I don't know.
I didn't have anything really planned, so I'll look at Blaze and you're like, want to get a bite to eat?
Yeah, sure.
Not a date, though.
We would at least tell them what we were doing so they'd know where we're going and such, so that it's not like, oh, you disappeared on us.
No, that's fair. The group of you have been staying the night in a local inn there. Which actually, since you're staying there for 5 days, in total, let's see, it costs you 1 gold piece per night here in Northimia, which is kind of pricey, but not like super pricey. You're staying in a little bit of a lower middle class area, but 1 gold for the evening, so take 7 gold pieces total off each of your character sheets for the week you're staying in Northimia. Let's go ahead and take care of that before we forget. But
Sure.
Blaznir,
How many was that again?
7.
7 gold pieces for the week. But yeah, Blaznir and Willow, the two of them head off to the local, to the inn to have a meal. It's not a date, gotta remember that, but the two of you can hang out a little bit and do some carousing, while Corin and Kaya head to the Erudite Conclave. You've been there once before, you know exactly where it is, and there's always a map for that.
You know, it could be worse, Matt. Instead of paying 7 gold for an entire week, we could be paying 7 gold for a night.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's amazing
Or
what
pay
happens when
200 gold to get your ass kicked.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yep.
But eventually the two of you go making your way to the Erudite Conclave. I'm going to pull up carousing.
Making our way downtown.
Okay, so what I want the two of you to do, Blaznir and Willow, let's see. So the way carousing works is carousing is a downtime activity that you can do when you just want to, hang out, grab a few drinks, and hang out at a tavern. Carousing covers the work week, the food, the drink, the socializing. You can attempt to carouse among lower, middle, or upper class folks, but I did say this is a middle class town, so that's what you're going to do. If you want to do this, you can put down 10 gold to cover expenses in the lower class, 50 gold for the middle class, or 250 for an upper. But again, we said middle class. So if you don't want to do this, that's fine. But if you want to, you can put down 50 gold and do carousing for this week and see kind of what comes up from your week of just hanging out and having fun and chilling and meeting people and that sort of thing. Does that sound like something you want to do?
Sure. I don't know.
I'm down for the 50 gold.
Okay. So I want each of you to take 50 gold off your character sheets, and I'm going to have the both of you make persuasion checks to see what kind of carousing you're able to do for the week.
I seem to recall the last time I rolled for this, one of my characters got married, so...
Yeah.
12. Oh no.
24.
Well, so, Willow, you had a really, really good week. You have made 3 ally contacts. Contacts are NPCs who now share a bond with your character. Each one either owes your character a favor or has some reason to bear a grudge, but you do not have, you didn't get hostile, so you don't. You actually have friends now. You have made 3 allies here in Northimia. They probably include like members of like guild members or spellcasters or town officials or anything like that. You can use these contacts in the future if you want to get better roles or things like that of things you do here in Northimia. Now, Blaznir, you rolled a 12, so you unfortunately were not able to make any new contacts.
Oh, no enemies?
Mm-hmm. Now,
Boring.
since you rolled low, I want you to roll a d8. We're going to see what complication came up to why you were unable to make any contacts.
7.
7. You have become the target of a variety of embarrassing rumors. As you spent your week carousing, people just started talking smack about you and how bad you are as a musician and things like that. And there's a lot of rumors going around Northimia now about how bad you are as a musician.
I will say I probably started half of them, so
But Willow, you did pretty good. You now have 3 contacts. You can decide who they are, what they are, based on what I just told you. But these are individuals that the next time you're through Northimia or anytime you need some help, you can reach out to these people, and they might be able to give you aid in the future.
I think it's actually a trick, Blaznir. You just tell them that you're super bad so that people show up to your shows because they want to hear just how bad it is.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Reverse psychology style.
Yep. But so that was the effects of your carousing for the week, Willow and Blaznir. While everyone else has been kind of doing their own things. Now, Corin and Kaya, you do make your way to the Erudite Conclave, which I got to pull up here, so give me 10 seconds. Okay. You're heading to Outpost Beta, which is the Northimia branch. Okay. Eventually, you make your way to the Erudite Conclave's Outpost Beta. It is a 5-story tall, perfectly square building made of polished tan stone. It is surrounded by an 8-foot-tall iron fence that is patrolled regularly by an odd assortment of people who always seem to wear tan robes trimmed with green sashes around their waist. There are no windows on the outside of this building except for the very top level. You can see very thin windows along the very top edge of this building. There are also marble columns, tall marble columns that line the pathways from the outer gate to the large double doors. That seem to be the only thing that mar the otherwise perfectly smooth face of the building's walls. As you approach the iron fence, you are stopped by 2 guards at the gate. These are men who are also wearing the same tan robes with green, but they actually are wearing armor. One is wearing studded leather, the other is wearing a breastplate, and they both seem to have spears in their hands. They hold out their hand, and as you're approaching, and they say, "What can I do for you folks today?"
Kaya.
Oh, that's my cue.
Yeah. Like, I could say something, but you're the member, so...
Sorry.
Potential member.
Potential member.
Or provisional, potential, whatever.
Yeah, I'm here to see Master Ohm, I believe.
They both kind of look at one another. Master Ohm, you say? And who are you?
This is Kaya ne Shokan ne blah blah blah. As I rattle off all of the names that she's used that I know, she is a potential member of the Enclave. She won that tournament.
Yes, that is what I meant to say.
They both have a confused look on their face. So you're the turtle that won the tournament a couple months ago.
Yes, I am.
Oh, that was a great fight you fought. That was really impressive. And you're
Why, thank you.
and you say you're here to see Master Ohm.
She's here to see about membership.
Yes, my membership to eventually see Master Ohm.
Oh, well, yeah, wait for one moment, please. One of the guards kind of takes a step back while the other one is keeping himself imposed between you and the gate. And you notice he puts his hand to one side and his lips begin to mumble. Now, Corin, go ahead and make a perception check.
Sure. 21. Good, buddy.
You are able to recognize the fact that he is casting the message cantrip.
Cool. Figured it had to be something like that.
Mm-hmm. He kind of nods a little bit, and then he turns back to you and he says, "Oh well, okay. They're saying that you can go inside.
Thank you.
Make your way to the front entrance. The secretary on duty there will be able to handle things from there. What did you say your name again was? I remember you had a name Shokan. I think it was back then.
Oh no. Shokan is no more. No, I am Kaya.
This is a human and a tiefling who are at the front gate, and they both kind of look confused a little bit, but they just kind of shrug their shoulders, and one of them opens the gate, and you are allowed to pass.
Yeah.
You walk down the fairway towards the Erudite Conclave, and you can't help but just note the differences, Corin. Because you're from the Institute, you lived in the twisting spires of the Institute Arcanum, and the contrast between what they are and what this appears to be is massive. Because this is just a 5-story tall building. It seems like too bland and too basic for the great libraries that you've heard of, and it seems confusing. But you have been here once before for the tournament, and you have seen what it looks like. And I'll just go ahead and show you what it looks like because I always have a map for that.
I don't remember if I asked this last time. Is it nicer?
Is it nicer than what?
Than the arcane?
Oh God, no. No, not at all. No, the Institute Arcanum is hundreds of stories tall. It's a clover shape, 3 circles that just continue to twist and go upward and upward and upward. It's almost like a gigantic unicorn horn growing up into the sky. It's massive and imposing, and it's very beautiful to see. The grounds around it are lush and we're talking college campus versus public library.
Gotcha. Okay.
You feel me there?
Yeah. I feel you.
Okay. I'm trying to find the map for the conclave that I have. Okay. Well, as you make your way into the conclave itself, you step through those double doors into a small office and a bit of a waiting room. There's a single desk in the center of this room, a few benches on either side, and there's a topaz dragonborn sitting behind the desk, reading a book, and seems to not even look up at you as the doors open and the two of you step inside.
You know who else is here, Matt?
Yeah, I see those tokens. I left them there just for the amusement of it.
Yeah.
The last time you were actually on this map is when you were those characters, so yeah.
Yep.
But sure enough, you walk in, the doors close behind you, it makes a bit of a loud slam, but the Dragonborn seems more interested in their book, and only really look up as you make your way to the desk itself. He kind of has a bored expression on his face, and his tail comes out and licks those scaly lips as he says, You're the turtle that won the tournament, correct?"
Yes, this is correct.
Yeah, he looks you up and down, and he said, I see the white belt, the ivory belt that you have there. Are you here for your lesson with Ohm? He didn't tell us that he was expecting you.
No. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
She was merely... We were here attempting to see about something in the library.
Something in the library?
Yes.
We were
This is a
looking for a book.
repository of knowledge, is it not?
We are the largest depository of information and knowledge and lore in all of Loroupa. Of course we have it, but access to the library is only available to Conclave members or dignitaries of the country, which, since I don't know who either of you really are definitely not one of them.
She was offered membership.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. You were offered membership if you were interested in becoming a member of the Conclave. We are always looking for field researchers who are willing to take up jobs and perform tasks for us. Is that what you're here for?
I could probably do some field research for you. I am prone to wander and travel about.
Oh, wow, that's another story entirely. Yes, as a winner of the tournament, you have the ability to become a member here. Let me get one of our research liaisons. They'll be able to help you out. And he puts his fingers to his ear, casts the message spell, which you would recognize, Corin, and then instructs you, the two of you, to sit down and wait. And then the bureaucracy happens.
Bureaucracy.
Because this is a nationwide organization. There is some details that have to be gone into. We're not going to cover a lot. We're not going to role play out a lot of it for time's sake, but I am going to tell you a little bit about what happens. Eventually, someone comes in and steps in and calls out the name, which I think, weren't you going by Shokan back then, or were you going by something else? I don't remember.
I think I was Shokan at that point. I'm pretty sure I was Shokan.
Okay. Well, whatever name it was that you had used at that time, that's the name that they call out. Whoever the turtle. Because for our viewers at home, every time Kaya has something happened to her, where a successful battle, getting knocked unconscious and almost dying, all these different things causes her to change her name. She's been through like a dozen or so names.
Significant things.
Wasn't that many.
Not just like any random fight. Significant stuff.
Yeah, significant stuff. I should make that clear. But yeah, she has changed her name quite often, and I don't remember what name she used when she fought in that tournament. But she did win the tournament, and so is granted access. The research liaison invites you to come back into one of the side rooms and sits down with you.
And for the record, Kaya is only name number 7. It is not a dozen. Yet.
But once she sits you down, she explains to you that for winning the tournament, you have earned the right to become a field researcher for the Iridite Conclave. Field researchers are employed to take on tasks, to do quests for the Iridite Conclave. Sometimes it's to explore a certain area. Sometimes it's to find a particular item, a magical item, or something like that. Sometimes it's to do research. Now, the way it works is depending on what level you are within the conclave, you can do certain types of things, while others are considered more dangerous than that, and you'll probably not be given. So they give you quests based on what your capabilities are, but they always are looking for certain things. They also, as part of their network, they research monsters and things of that nature. Whenever you are contracted to do a job for them, they also request that you collect the body parts of creatures, preferably the heads. You get paid for anything you collect, and that plus the items that you find, yada yada yada. That's how you're paid. But once you are a member and have done some jobs for them, you absolutely have access to the library. The conversation eventually goes towards learning new languages. And they do inform you that after you sign up, that they will give you copies of linguistics books for you to study. You have to buy them. They usually cost 100 gold each, but they do have a very large depository of languages. And
awesome.
It takes time to study a language, and there are multiple books, but through diligent study, you can learn languages.
Does she have to do some jobs for them before they'll sell them to her, or can she buy one now?
Well, first she has to actually sign the paperwork.
Become a member.
Become a member,
Yeah.
and it's a process. Yes, Kaya.
I was just going to request that we take a quick break.
Yes, actually, that's what I was trying to get to as well, because I just saw what time it is. So why don't we go ahead and take a break right now, and during the meantime, that's when all the bureaucracy will happen. So we'll cut to the end of it. But we will be back in about 10 minutes, folks, and we'll find out what they're going to do next. So stay tuned. Welcome back. When we last left off, most of the Debauchery Circus were in Northimia, doing some carousing, getting some custom orders made while Ichabod was in Port Suliard. And most recently, Kaya and Corin decided to head over to the Iridite Conclave to finally cash in on Kaya's offer for membership. The process goes like this. It actually takes pretty much the rest of the day. They take you up and they give you a magical tattoo that is tattooed on any part of your body that you want, so you can decide where it is. But it is a emblem of the Erudite Conclave, and they explain to you as they're tattooing this that this basically opens a small pocket dimension that is just big enough for 2 items, which they give you: an ink pot, a quill, and a book, which you are to use to take notes of your travels and what you get up to on your missions. They kind of go into a lengthy process about how you're supposed to take these notes, what information they're looking for, things like that. And as it takes quite a few hours. What part of your body do you want this to be on?
I'm thinking on my left bicep.
On your left bicep. Okay, so you now you can mark down that you have the conclave tattoo on your bicep, invoking the magic word, which is whatever you want it to be. You have to tell him as he's inking this on your body as part of the spell. But when you say the magic word, the ink pot, quill, and book appear in your hands, and you're able to take your notes. And then you say the word again, and they poof off back to the pocket dimension. Whenever you come to the conclave and you deliver your report and whatever it was you're supposed to do, they take the book from you and they give you a new one. And that's basically how they work to get all the data that they collect. They tell you that to start things off, they do have a few jobs that they'll let you look at, which I'm going to give to you later. But you'll have some time to think about what job offers you want. The one thing that they do tell you is that Master Ohm is actually here in the conclave, and he wants to meet with you after you're done with the tattoo.
Sounds good. Yes. Can I have a little bit to think about what word I want to use, because this is
Matt doesn't care. It's entirely up to you. You just, when you want to use these things, you say my command word, and they pop out. But yes, you can take however long you want to decide.
I want it to be good, so I need to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. A few members of the Fab Five are actually members of the Conclave, so they have this. It was really fun when the Debauchery got his tattoo.
Because he had to get shaved.
I'm not the only one who had to get shaved.
Yep, that's true. That's a thing that actually happened. But anyway,
I wonder how hard it is to tattoo turtle skin, though.
I mean, your body isn't all shell. You have flesh.
Oh, but it's still rough, scaly skin.
Yeah, but it's still possible. They might have had to cut a bit more to get into you, and it probably hurt a little bit more, but it's definitely possible with magic. Now, once your tattoo is complete, and the tattoo artist, who's this big, burly half-orc man with a very high falsetto voice, once he's putting away his stuff, the door opens, and a short, thin, bald, old man walks in, wearing tan robes trimmed with green, with a black belt around his waist. This man I've described many times as being the oldest looking man you can possibly imagine. Like, think if George Burns was bald, that's what this guy looks like. Gigantic ears, wrinkled skin, small squinty eyes, big smile, and a bit of a gravelly voice as he walks up, and he looks at you and he says, so you're the turtle I've heard so much about.
Turtle, not turtle.
That's what I said, turtle. He didn't. So you're the one I heard about, huh? Who won the tournament last month?
That is I. I went by a different name back then, but I'm still one and the same.
And unfortunately, I wasn't around to see it. I wanted to be back in time, but ended up having to go down to Venuis and deal with some things with the elves. So, just a big whole thing. I heard that you have an elf friend too.
Who? Is he still here?
What were you doing, Corin, after she started getting her tattoo?
I mean, it depends if they want me in the room or not. If not, they could send me somewhere to wait, I guess.
Would you have just waited at the conclave for her, is more what I'm asking.
Yes.
Then, yeah, they would have sent you out of the room to do the tattoo. You were probably sent back to the waiting room.
That's fine. I mean, I didn't want to intrude on what she's doing, but I also didn't want to, seem like the guy who's like, oh, well, I got what I needed, so bye.
Yeah, absolutely. I get you. So, yeah, you're in the waiting room at this point, and Ohm says, well, I did promise that I would be giving lessons to whoever won the tournament. I suppose that's you. How much time you got?
How much time do we have? We have plenty of time, right?
Oh yeah, you got several days.
Yeah, I have several days. I've got plenty of time.
Oh, good. Why don't we go upstairs and hit the roof up, and we can get this thing started now.
Sounds good. I am eager to learn some new techniques.
Like, looking at this guy, he seems he doesn't seem like the kind of master that you're really expecting. Like, he looks the part. He definitely old, wrinkled, bald master monk type, but like he definitely has an odd twinkle in his eye, and his skin kind of glows with its own inner radiance a little bit. Like, he's tanned as all hell, like that golden tan skin. But it also seems to have its own bit of light. This short little man who... How tall are you, Shokan?
I am 5'2".
Yeah, you actually stand about at height with him. You're a lot wider than he is, though.
Now, what race is Master Ohm? For some reason, in my head, I had him as a turtle, but
he is definitely not a turtle, in no way whatsoever. He looks humanoid. His skin is that rosy, kind of well-tanned look, as a man that probably spends all of his time outdoors.
Okay. I don't know why, but I just, in my mind, he was turtle.
Nope.
No, this is not Kung Fu Panda. You're the only turtle monk here.
Fair enough.
But he waits for you to collect your things, and he's like, "Yeah, let's go. Let's go out on the roof and have some alone time."
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
If she tells me that she's meeting with this guy, then I'm just gonna head back to the inn and start studying.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I would go and let him know that he's not just sitting there in limbo.
I'll just be like, "Thank you," and then I'll, walk off.
Fair enough. She would have given you the copy of the book, so you could have been spending that time in the waiting room, honestly, reading it. What's going to happen with that is we're just going to do a couple weeks worth of rolls.
Sure.
However, every day that you're able to study it, we'll sit down and do a roll. Once you've had enough successes, you've learned the basics of Elvish. Fairly simple process. But in the meantime, Kaya, after conferring with Corin, who heads back to the inn to study, you make your way up to the roof of the conclave. The one thing that strikes you as odd as he's leading you up there is that when you were coming through the building, it was a 5-story tall building. And yet, you go up level by level by level by level. And 10 stories later, you're still going up, and you're like, this can't possibly be this big. And yet it is. Eventually, you make your way past several floors of libraries, several floors of rooms that almost look like classrooms, offices and administration and levels, until finally you step out onto the roof and you can see all of Northimia around you. The air is clear. It is a bright, sunny day. It's actually probably around 6-7 o'clock in the evening, and the sun is starting to get low, but there's still plenty of light out. As Master Ohm walks you out onto the top of the conclave, and he kind of gestures around you, and you can see, sure enough, yeah, you're only about maybe 6 stories up. But God, there's a lot of steps. But Ohm turns back to you and he says, so, oh, that's not his voice. So, what do you plan to get into now that you're a member of the Conclave? You kind of just give him the weird look you're giving me right now?
Get into as a... I mean...
What sort are you? Are you more the researching type, wanting to hunt down random secrets and find them? Or are you more the smash and grab type, that looking for, rare items and ancient lore? Or he kind of looks at you up and down once again. You more the type that just wants to punch and kick and do that kind of thing?
I'm a wanderer by nature, so this seems like a great place to get that bit of wanderlust out of my system. I definitely don't mind, beating down some adversaries along the way as well. Definitely have some, ancient scrolls that I would love to find in my travels. Kind of all around everything.
He nods his head. Okay. Well, let's see what you can do. He walks into the dead center of the roof of the conclave. There, you've been on tall buildings before. There's always that lip of a ledge around the outer edge of it, but he walks and positions himself right in the dead center of it, and his back's to you. And he just kind of stops, turns, looks at you, and says, "Let's see what you got, kid."
I'm gonna approach him. I'm assuming he's wanting to spar a bit. Either that or I'm really taking this the wrong way. But I'm gonna step up to him and, kind of square off a bit.
Okay. Well, then roll for initiative. Let's see how you can do.
Oh, apparently I didn't click on myself. But I got 19.16.
Okay. Well, Ohm definitely rolled higher than you, but he just seems to be content to just kind of hang out and watch to see what you can do. So he lets his turn pass. What are you going to do?
Okay,
He does definitely seem to be in a bit of a defensive stance right now.
Okay. So I am reading this right, though. He is winning the spar. I'm not gonna be beating the crap of out of this old man for no reason.
I don't know. I
Right.
suppose
Try.
you're about to find out.
Do I have my weapons on me?
I don't see why you wouldn't.
Okay, I'm gonna, I guess, take a swing at him with my quarterstaff. Did that work? Okay. Oh shit, I missed.
Yeah, you definitely missed without question. You raise up that mithril quarterstaff and give it a wide swing, and you just see this little man move his head back just a little bit, and the very tip of your quarterstaff goes swinging past his nose. He is currently using patient defense. You can tell that your attacks would have disadvantage right now because he took the dodge action, but that 12 you wouldn't have rolled any lower than that, so it doesn't matter. But that was your first attack. Go ahead and make your second.
Yeah. I'm
This
gonna
never happens to me, I swear.
swing again. Oh, you said it's gonna be at a disadvantage?
It is a disadvantage, yes. So
Okay, well,
one
I'm
more time.
there. That would be a 17. Damn, I wish I could use that 29.
Yeah, unfortunately, with that 17, once again, you twist around that quarterstaff, and it's like he's barely moving at all, but the weapon goes right through where he was standing just a moment ago.
Okay, I'm gonna use my flurry of blows. I'm gonna be kind of like, oh my god, what the fuck? But, flurry of blows, here we go. That's gonna be 2. 21 and a 12. I know the 12 don't hit, but does that 21?
Yeah, after you swung twice with that quarterstaff, you twist around, doing doing a punch with your brass knuckles, a second one, and he just dodges so quick and so nimbly. Like you're just. The moment you saw this little old man, you couldn't help but think to yourself, yeah, is this guy really a master monk? He looks like he's about to fall down from a strong gust of wind. But then he just starts moving, and you could not put a finger on him.
I mean, I kind of step back and part of me expecting this from a master monk, but still at the same time like, damn, did that just really happen?
Well, that's going to be it for your turn, and as those 2 punches go by, he just suddenly seems to move your hand away and then lashes out with a quick jab. That's a 25 to hit.
No, it doesn't hit me.
Yes, of course it does. Doing 14 points of bludgeoning damage. He follows that up with a second punch. That's a 24, which also hits, I believe. What's your AC? 19?
Yeah.
Okay. Another 8 points of damage. From there, he just seems to have this kind of goofy grin on his face. He's using a technique you do recognize, Flurry of Blows. That's a 30, which does hit as well. And the moment he does that, I need you to make a... let's see. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please. That follow after those first 2 punches, he just kind of grins and he kicks his foot out, swinging at your legs. With a 9, you definitely fail.
I didn't mean the disadvantage, but I'm assuming that 9 is my first roll.
Yeah,
I'm getting my butt wiped.
Yeah, he kicks your legs out from under you with just a simple spin, and you just drop to the ground prone. And then he holds his fists out, and he just stops and he says, you forgot to duck, and you just fall all wrong.
Yes, I do have much to learn from you.
He holds his hand out as though willing to help you up to complete his turn.
Oh wait, hold on a second. Because I do have evasion. I don't think that helps me though in this situation.
No, it definitely does not. That's when a magical effect, something like a fireball, is thrown at you.
Okay. Yeah. So you said he's reaching out to help me up?
Yes. After kicking your legs out from under you and telling you you forgot to duck and you fall all wrong, he is offering to help you back up again.
I'm not too proud to take some help, so I do reach out.
Okay.
Take his hand.
And you're kind of surprised by how strong that grip is as he just effortlessly lifts you back up to your feet. And he kind of chuckles a little bit and he says, "Not bad, kid, not bad. You almost got me there that one time."
Yes, I'm gonna kind of bow in reverence to him, like, yes, Master Ohm, I try my best. Apparently, you are much better.
The martial arts is really just about two things: knowing how to duck, knowing how to fall. And if you can master those two things, you can master just about anything. You ready to go again? He just smiles at you.
I mean, I will appear.
Well, to cut the we're gonna go quick with this. He spends the rest of the day kind of working with you. You can't lay a hand on this guy. He is ridiculous. He is a master monk in every sense of the word. He's actually the technique that he's using is something that you recognize because you used to fight in this way, but you started taking on a different path halfway through your martial arts career. But you are recognizing that he is a practitioner of the open palm.
Had I but stayed. No.
Yep, he probably could have helped you out a little bit if you did, but you didn't, and that's okay. You still work with Master Omen, and he begins teaching you a little bit of techniques, ways in which you can fall a little bit better. He shows you how to not really see with your eyes, but feel your surroundings and feel the natural flow of combat so that you can anticipate a little bit more when you're fighting. And it does help a little bit. Now, over the course of the week that you are in Northimia, he works with you every day, teaching you, showing you various techniques. I'm going to allow you to regain something as a monk. Let's see, where is that ability here that we have? I'm trying to find it. 1 second. Yeah, you're able to regain one of your open hand techniques. Over the course of this week, you're starting to remember it now. You don't get all of these. You can only choose one. You can when you use Flurry of Blows, you can choose one of these now, and that's what it's going to be: either the tripping effect to knock them prone, or the pushing technique, which shoves them away from you 15 feet.
I'm gonna go with tripping because I'm close combat. I don't want to be pushing them away from me.
Okay. So you can put down on your character sheet that you have regained the open hand technique to trip.
How do I
You're going to have to create this under features and traits.
I might have you do that for me later.
Okay. Well, the way it works is whenever you hit a creature with one of the attacks granted by Flurry of Blows, you can impose. You can try to trip them by imposing a trip. They have to make a dexterity saving throw or be knocked prone, and it's the same DC that your monk abilities are. So 8 plus proficiency bonus plus your monk skill, which is your wisdom. Okay.
Yeah. Am I able to somehow get it from on here where the look?
Yeah, actually, I can do it for you real quick. It won't take a minute.
Yeah, that would be better because I prefer to have the actual official wording down. And now I have a blank thing down at the bottom I accidentally added. I don't know how to get rid of it.
There you go.
Okay, the open hand technique.
Yep, I'm editing it for you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I think I just messed it up for you.
There you go. There's your open hand technique now, so you can attempt to trip people.
Awesome. And that's once per turn?
Well, it's whenever you use Flurry of Blows.
Yeah. But okay, and only one of those attacks. I can't use
it actually doesn't specify. It just says whenever you hit a creature with one of the attacks granted by Flurry of Blows. So conceivably, if you hit twice, you can do it twice or attempt it twice.
Okay. If you're saying I can do it twice, I will go with that.
That's how it reads.
Okay, I will go with that. Thank you.
At the end of the week, you are also granted the next level of your belt. You have to give up your white one, but then you get the next one, which I think it was green. You're the one who found it.
Yeah, I will look at that and I will figure it out in a moment.
Now, over the course of the week, Master Ohm tells you there is an event coming up that the Conclave is sending field researchers into that you might find interesting, given that you fought in a tournament to become a member here. Now, down in Rowena, there is a gladiator tournament that's about to start. It's one of those centennial type things, but the Conclave also believes that the Zaim of Rowena, basically the ruler of the Margarden Federation, we believe he has an item that the Erudite Conclave is looking for. Now, whoever wins this tournament gets to make a request of the Zaim. And so we're sending down Conclave members to fight in this tournament in hopes of acquiring the Dream Root from this man. Would that be something you're interested in?
I definitely do enjoy a good fight, so yes, I would take on this quest, and I will do my best to win.
He nods his head and says, "Very well then. I'll let your liaison know that you're interested, and they'll set you up with a contract." And he holds out his hand for you to shake.
And I reach out, shake his hand, and a slight bow of appreciation to him.
After he takes the hand and he bows back a little bit, much shorter of a bow than you gave him, that's for sure, but a little slight incline of his head. Well, good then. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go down to this thing myself. I have pressing business in Il Mythica, and that wouldn't be a job you're interested in anyway. But that tournament there, right up your alley. Now, if you win it, I'll come find you. Maybe help you out with your techniques a little bit more. If you manage to win. And he kind of gives you a big grin.
I will definitely do my best.
Good luck, Kaya. Nice to see a student of your caliber here with the Conclave.
I look forward to learning more from you and becoming even more, becoming even better as a monk.
He takes you back down on that last day, and you meet up with your field research liaison. I have the contracts on my in my notes. I'll give it to you between now and next session because I don't want to go through that whole thing. It's really freaking long. But if you do sign up for it, they tell you that the tournament is at the beginning of next month for about a week. It's a week-long festival, and in the middle of it is the Gladiator Tournament. Anyone can join. Anyone can apply to fight in it, but it can get dicey there, and there's definitely a possibility of loss of life in this sort of tournament. They explain that the thing, if you win and you're doing this job for us, the thing you need to request if you win is the Dream Root, an ancient relic of the distant past, and it's up until now believed to have not existed, but some other members of the Erudite Conclave Field Researchers Society have begun finding these things, and they also tell you a little bit of that there's a cult out there that's also looking for these roots. So they do tell you to be on your guard, especially with anyone that you don't actually know. Anyone can be a member of this cult. The Conclave has begun to learn. And they actually give you a dossier, which I will give you this weekend as well, giving you information that they have about the Cult of the Dreamer. Since you're going to be going down there and potentially meeting some of them, you should know as much as they know. Okay?
And also in preparation for this gladiator tournament, with it being as deadly as they're saying it could be, could I perhaps get a Lifewell tattoo to protect me?
A Lifewell tattoo? What is a Lifewell tattoo?
So basically what a Lifewell tattoo does is, if I can find that page again, when you hit down to 0 HP, you get an HP back. You get back to like 1 so you don't die. I think from what I was been reading, it's like you can only do it once per day.
You have resistance to necrotic damage, and then when you would be reduced to 0 hit points, you drop to 1 hit point instead. Once you use this property, can't be used again until the next dawn. Very rare item. I'll throw it up in the Debauchery Circus chat for you.
Because to be fair, I just Googled good stuff for monks, and this is something that popped up, and I didn't know if, how rare or not rare it is.
Okay, yeah, that is a very rare tattoo.
So then that's probably not something I'm going to be able to get done.
Could you
Probably
get it done?
expensive.
Yes. Is it extremely expensive? Yes. You describe what you're asking about, and they send in their tattooist, who's still here in the conclave. He tells you, well, it's a good thing that you caught me. I was getting ready to step into the teleportation circle here, so you really cut it close. That kind of tattoo that you're asking for, yeah, I can do it. It is extremely expensive because I have to use diamond dust in the workings of it. That's going to run you 12,000 gold pieces.
By chance, do I get a new membership half off discount?
That is the discount for being a member of the conclave. I don't do this kind of work for non-members.
Oh, that's a bit steep. I do not have enough for that. I was kind of afraid of that.
It's a hella expensive tattoo.
Yeah, well.
Save up, I guess.
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna have to.
Okay. But other than that, do you have anything else you're wanting to do in Northimia? This is about the end of the week at this point. Your group has all gathered up the commissions that they had ordered here in Northimia, and you've all regrouped at the inn for one last night of hanging out and having a good time. So is there anything else you want to accomplish before you head back to Coltrest?
I don't believe so.
Do you mention to the group everything that you've been doing at the conclave and tell them about your...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll tell them. Because, I mean, if we're traveling together and I have to do some, conclave stuff, I mean, they're going to know.
Okay. Corin, one thing that probably pops up when she's telling you about everything that happened is when she tells you about the tattooist that we're getting ready to step into a teleportation circle.
So, we could probably make the journey much more easily if we can get the king to allow us to use his teleportation circle. We could just pop back to Edmund and company's circle in the keep.
Well, now keep in mind, you don't need a established teleportation circle.
Oh, you don't?
No, you have to use a special type of ink, or not ink, chalk. I believe it costs 50 gold per use for the teleportation circle spell, if I'm remembering correctly.
Let me see what it says. Yeah, rare chalks and inks infused with precious gems worth 50 gold, which the spell consumes.
Mm-hmm. So you literally, if you have the chalk, you can just draw the teleportation circle in a kind of private location and cast the spell. What established circles are for is it creates a permanent link to a place. So
to get there.
So you can use the spell to get to that spot.
Sure.
So you already know there's a teleportation circle in Coltrest Keep, so you can just cast the spell if you have the component for it and teleport back there.
Okay, can I buy the chalk since we're in Northimia?
Yes, you would be able to buy the chalk at cost.
Okay, I'll buy, let's say, 3 uses, and then I'll spend one of them to teleport us back.
Okay. But now you also know that the Conclave has a teleportation circle as well. And I can hear a guy mowing my lawn right now.
Would I have been able to study that?
You didn't see it.
Oh, okay. Cool. Next time.
I mean, you could just have Shokan or Kaya ask too.
Yeah.
Sure, now that I'm a new member, I can possibly, maybe.
In case you ever have need of returning quickly to the Conclave, it might be useful.
I definitely agree.
Well, since you know Ohm and you're a member of the Conclave there, I'm sorry. I'm sure you can all hear that right
Only
now.
a little bit.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Okay, good. It's super loud for me. That's why I'm saying. So, like I said, because Kaya knows Ohm, she could talk them into letting you have that teleportation circle's address, for want of better word. If she travels with a wizard who has access to teleportation, they will allow you to teleport back there. They tell you that if you ever want to use that circle, you need to call ahead via the sending spell.
Sure.
But they would allow you to use it as long as you're with Kaya. If you want
Awesome.
access to their entire network, that's a lot more pricey.
That's fair.
That would cost 500 gold pieces to access to their full network.
Ooh. We'll have to think about that one.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, that may be something in the future if we all decide to, chip in or something might be beneficial to us at some point.
Yeah.
So there's always that too.
well, I think that's a good place to end things for this afternoon. We're going to say that you do get the chalk, Corin, and you do, after studying the Conclave's teleportation circle in Northimia, you all head back and teleport back to Coltrast Keep.
Sweet.
About that time, probably a day afterward, is when Ichabod arrives.
Cool. I arrive and I still have a black eye.
Probably. Probably. But good job, everybody. Interesting session today. Probably got one more of downtime in Coltrast before you all head out to Rowena. But we will be getting to Willow and Blaznir some things for you to do in Coltrast. And you all have interviews to do still.
Yeah.
So
Interviews
keep that in
with
mind.
the Inquisitor.
Yep, keep that in mind, and we'll see what happens with that next week. But to everyone who watched, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. We absolutely appreciate you tuning in. Join us again next Monday at 3 o'clock to find out what other threads the Debauchery Circus go exploring on before they head to our big event, which is coming up soon. Here in a couple of weeks, we're going to be doing a crossover event between the Debauchery Circus and the Fab Five, where members of each cast splits up to do some stuff with the cast of the other campaign that we run here on Random Rhapsody. So it should be really, really interesting and a lot of fun as they all head out to the desert oasis of Rowena. So, once again, on behalf of everyone here in the Debauchery Circus, I just wanted to say thank you again for watching. Have a great evening. We'll see you next Monday. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.